I wanted to start today's video off with a very important question. If you had to evacuate in minutes from your house, would you have all the important documents needed in a go bag? It's very important for everybody to keep that in mind. We live in a world today with a lot of natural disasters and a lot of things that could be going on at any moment's notice. So in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and stress the importance of having a go bag for your documents and important information that you may need in case of an emergency. We're going to go ahead and highlight the types of go bags that you may want to get. I'll go ahead and I'll leave a couple descriptions on my video as well and links as to where you can purchase these go bags and the type of documents and information that you may want to include. It's very important that you have a go bag to be able to get away for a couple days in case of emergency, but also you would need something where you would have all your important documents as well. Now in today's world, as everybody knows, we're going through situations with floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, fires, and all types of natural disasters. And there's a lot of people out there that have very important documents in their home, but they're all over the place. Sometimes family members, they hold on to them in cabinets or maybe in drawers or in different spots of the house. Sometimes, especially when it comes to social security cards or possibly birth certificates or passports, they're just littered everywhere. So it's very important that you as a household, especially if you have different family members, that you gather all these documents and you put them all secure into one place. And sometimes what will happen is all of a sudden you may also need these documents to be able to do an insurance claim or to replace identification, or maybe you run into an emergency situation where you need a certain document but you can't find it. So not only will this go bag help you to be able to have everything organized in one place, but like I said, also in case you need to evacuate your home or you need to leave right away, you will have everything immediately so you can just take off. And also this will give you peace of mind, especially when it comes to being prepared. And in future videos, I will go ahead and show you my routine and what I have, whether it be my go bag or my document bag as well. And you want to make sure that all this, you have it in a safe place so that you can take it right away with you. So what makes a really good document go bag? Well, number one, I highly recommend that it is fireproof and waterproof. I highly recommend that if you can get something that's lightweight. You don't want to get something that's too burdensome or heavy. I've seen some bags out there for documents that are just really heavy. So highly recommend you try to stay as light as possible. Also, you want to make sure that it's secure. So there's some of them out there that have these locks that you can go ahead and secure them to make sure that they don't just open arbitrarily. And also, some of them will also have some sort of organization. They'll have tabs, they'll have folders, they'll have areas for you to be able to put maybe some USB drives or USB thumbsticks, and areas for all your cards, social security cards, passports, and other little information pens and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and post some links at Amazon where you can go ahead and purchase different types of go bags, which I think that would benefit you to have. Now, what types of documents would you recommend to have in a go bag? Well, obviously, number one, you want to have copies of all these documents as well. You want to have birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, passports, social security cards. Maybe you want to have copies of driver's licenses. Sometimes it's even good to have copies of your credit cards front and back. You want to have those in there as well. In case you do lose them, you can run in there and you will have a physical copy of the front and back of a credit card, because if it gets lost, sometimes you may need the last 3 digits of that card number, American Express, the 4 digits. So that's very important. You also want to carry some financial records. You want to be able to carry maybe some copies of some bank statements with the account numbers. You want to carry some credit card statements as well with those numbers as well. Sometimes you also want to be able to carry all your bank account details. Sometimes there's a lot of people that don't even know their own account numbers. If they have several accounts, sometimes they'll have savings accounts, CDs, brokerage accounts. All of that stuff needs to be written down on there as well. You want to keep maybe a checkbook or two in there as well, because sometimes you need a check, you can't find it. A lot of people don't write checks now, but if you do have it in an accessible location that's stored away, you can go and grab a check at any time. You can also get property documents. You have deed documents. You have vehicle transfer documents. You have titles to vehicles. Maybe you have loans that you've given out or loans that you've received. Maybe you want to have those loan documents is there as well. And you also want to carry copies of insurance documents as well. If you have properties, you want to carry copies of your insurance policies for your properties, your vehicles, the policy numbers. You want to be able to carry life insurance policy information as well, annuities, anything that's related to insurance. You also want to keep all that information handy at one time. So if you need any information, you can go grab it right away. Now, for a lot of you, you have a lot of medical information as well. You want to have a copy of your medical records, maybe some x-rays. There's people sometimes that they even have x-rays that they can have access to as well, so that in case they need them in the future for any doctor visits. You may be able to want to carry the history of your medical records or the prescriptions you've taken. Maybe there's certain prescriptions that you take here and there, maybe once or twice a year. You want to have a list of that. I've ran into situations sometimes where I need a prescription. I can't remember the name. So it's very important that if you have that information there, you can just go grab it right away. Also, the names of your doctors, the names of your primary care doctor or any other specialists. You want to be able to carry their names, addresses, phone numbers, all that information as well. Legal documents, that's another important thing. You have powers of attorney. You have the healthcare directives. Maybe you have copies of the will, the trust documents in there. When you got married, when you got divorced. Maybe you have copies of your permanent resident card or your certificate of citizenship or naturalization if you came into this country later. Any of those documents, you want to be able to carry them in there as well. Copies of them. I've run into a lot of people over the past where maybe they've lost the original document and they can't find a copy. Why? Because they never created one. They never got something like this prepared. And lastly, I highly recommend that you have a list of emergency contacts. People right now, they don't remember their phone numbers anymore. A lot of people, if I tell them, hey, can you recite me some phone numbers of people you know? Everything's on their phone. They just don't remember them. When I was a child, I was able to remember tons of phone numbers off the top of my head. Can't do that anymore because of my cell phone. So make sure that you create an emergency contact list. And if you want to just create all the contacts on your phone, just get them all on your computer and just print them all out, put them into this go bag. And another important thing is all this information that you have in physical form, if you're able to, make sure that you can actually somehow get them into digital form, whether it be taking pictures of everything or scanning everything, putting it in USBs, maybe have two of them just in case one doesn't work, and make sure you have a cloud backup as well. There's a lot of secured cloud solutions out there where you can actually upload these documents, password protect them, maybe even encrypt them, and have them available. So in case you're out of the country, you can access some of this information as well in digital form. That's very important to carry in these go bags is to have cash, especially small denominations of cash, because if you decide to take this go bag with you, you need to make sure you have that. If the electricity's out or there's no way that you can get access to an ATM, you want to be able to carry small denominations of bills and maybe even some loose currency, maybe even a little bag of pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters. A lot of the times you run into situations where you need quarters as well. So make sure you carry some quarters as well. And also ones, fives, tens, 20s, and maybe even a 50 and 100 here and there. So you want to make sure you get a waterproof pouch as well, or maybe one or two of them, and put them in your go bag because sometimes there's certain things you want to put in there as well. Where do you store this go bag when it's not in use? I highly recommend that you put your go bag in a fireproof safe if you have one available. If not, put it in a very secure location away from areas that could be prone to flooding or any other types of theft. If it's even possible, maybe even have two go bags, because maybe you could have one somewhere else in a different location if you cannot access the one that you have at your house. Another thing that I recommend is a lot of these documents that you do carry in your go bag, they could become expired or outdated. So at least once or twice a year, I highly recommend that you go through it and look through all those documents and those identifications or copies of credit cards or any phone numbers, addresses, and just go through them real quick. Maybe spend 30 minutes to an hour going through all your stuff. And if there's anything in there that's outdated, maybe you want to update it. Also, with the digital copies, make sure you update those as well. So, in case, like I said, you need any information, it's all updated there for you as well. Make sure that if you do have a family, a large family, that everybody in your family is well aware of this go bag and the contents inside it. So that case, in case you cannot grab it or you don't know where it's at, you can have a family member access it for you as well. Sometimes if you're in a situation where you're far away, you can give your family members a call and they can access it and get whatever information they need. So like I said, it's very important for people to have these types of things available for them. It's never too late to start something like this. A lot of people have overlooked this. I know I myself, when I was way younger, I was ignorant to these types of things. But as you get more wise, you realize that, especially as you start building different assets, you have different, whether or not you have property, cars, cash, accounts, and so forth, you want to make sure you're well prepared, because we live in a country where disaster could happen anywhere. And this has proven us time and time again. Anywhere you're at, you could be vulnerable. So be prepared. So what's the most important document or item that you would carry in a document go bag? Please let me know in the comments below. If you have other suggestions or recommendations as to what other things you think would be important to carry in this document go bag, please let me know as well. I will also provide a checklist in the description down below of things that I have discussed in today's video for you to be able to check out to make sure that you can actually go through and make sure that you have everything pertinent in this go bag. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll go ahead and continue providing you guys good information that I think will make you a better person, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.